Hi, my name's Jason. It's week 5, day 31 of my full-time chronic pain rehabilitation journey. Today I'm going to talk about my second trip on a FDA-approved psychedelic called Spravado. And before I get to that, though, a quick status update. So as part of this trip, they upped the dose. So the first time I went in, it was 2 doses. Each dose is 28 milligrams for a total of 54 milligrams. This time, they gave me 3 doses for a total of 84 milligrams. Um, I didn't notice much of a difference on the trip itself. It seemed pretty similar, although I noticed the after effects, particularly motion sensitivity, lasted much longer this time. When I went to the gym, I was still suffering the effects of motion sensitivity, so I decided to sit in the jacuzzi, and I noticed that even without the jets on, just the motion of the water against my body was making me feel seasick. So that was not particularly fun. Even so, I managed to get in the pool and swim 16 non-consecutive freestyle laps. My personal best to this point was 12, 3 sets of 4, but this time I did 4 sets of 4. So I'm pretty proud of myself for doing that, even though I was motion sick. You could say that's part of my Navy SEAL mental conditioning training going on, and I succeeded today. I wasn't crazy. If I'd been throwing up, I wouldn't have gotten to the pool. Let's just be honest. But even with some motion sickness, I swam. Good for me. Okay, and then there's one other thing. I attended my chronic pain coping group. I go every week on Tuesdays. And this time I noticed a change. I felt more like a therapist in the group than a patient. And I don't know if this trend will continue, but I'm hoping it will. And I think it signals a shift where at some point I won't have to go to the chronic pain coping group anymore. Even if I have chronic pain, I don't think my mind is going to be addled in the same way that it's been addled to date. This is encouraging, and I hope the trend continues. I'm not going to make any changes right now while I'm on my journey because it is a support system for me. But when I'm done with it, I will reevaluate and consider whether I continue to go. All right, on to today's tips. If you are tired, go to bed early. I was really tired last night. I went to bed like 8 o'clock and got tons of sleep, and I feel much better today. So don't fight it, just listen to your body. The second is after you go on a Spravado trip, you're going to want to bring something to eat or drink afterwards. I suggest something like coconut water or some kind of multigrain cracker, but particularly you need some salt. Anything with salt would be good. Sweet didn't appeal to me, but salty did. Anything with electrolytes to replenish your electrolytes would be good. So that's why I offered coconut water as one suggestion. All right, so on to the main event. Today's topic is trip number 2 on Spravado. I'm going to preface this all with a prior experience. So back around Thanksgiving weekend, I went down to Cedar City, Utah, and participated in a religious ceremony where they consumed a South American plant, psychedelic plant called ayahuasca. And as part of this ceremony, I remember one person who was actually one of the facilitators of the ceremony doing what I would call bearing of testimony. If you're LDS, you'll kind of know what that means. It's like sharing your personal truth, your experience. And she did this and said that she used to hide from herself. And that phrase, I used to hide from myself, has stuck in my mind. And I asked myself, how am I hiding from myself? And I've kind of been learning progressively how I do this on a personal level. And my trip today helped me understand that even better. And I'm going to share that with you. I've decided that I'm not going to hide anymore. It's going to be hard for me. It's going to be a process. It's not an event. It's a process. But I believe over time, this will contribute to my healing if I'm more open and more transparent. We'll see how that goes. My personal belief is that the purpose of life is for us to bless the lives of others. We're put here with certain gifts and capacities, and I think our primary responsibility is to figure out how to use those gifts and capacities to improve ourselves with the aim of helping other people. That's my personal take on it. It's kind of a non-denominational religious perspective, but that's how I see it. And what I realized is that hiding not only prevents you from healing, but it prevents other people from healing who might benefit from your experience. And so, as part of my effort not to hide, I want to heal myself and I want to help others. And that's why I'm making these videos. So here's one example of me not hiding today. I was in the jacuzzi before I got in the pool. And again, the water was making me seasick, essentially. and an older gentleman was going to get up and turn on the jets button. And I don't want the jets on because that means there's going to be more motion in the water and it's going to make me more sick. And so I spoke up and I said, "Hey, could you not turn those on?" He's all, "Why?" Now, if I were hiding, I wouldn't explain why, right? But this was just a natural progression of the conversation. I wasn't just saying, "Hey, by the way, I took Spravado today and I'm motion sick," for no reason. He was going to turn on the jets and it was going to make me sick. So I did. It was a really natural thing to do. So I shared with him my experience on Spravado, why I was taking it, how it was helping me. And then he shared with me that he has a son who struggles with chronic depression. And so I was able to share with him the concept of taking psychedelics to alleviate those symptoms, and specifically clued him into the fact that ketamine is clinically available in Utah and that his son might benefit from it. If I had stayed quiet, if I had hid, that conversation never would have happened. This man may never have known of that remedy, and his son may never have known of that remedy. This is why hiding is not a good thing for other people's benefit in this case. I have actually two other examples I want to share. And this one's directly from the trip itself on Spravado. I realized as I was going through my cosmic journey, I describe it as a cosmic roller coaster ride, that there was a hitchhiker coming along for the ride. It wasn't other than me, but it was part of me, and it was doing something that I felt detracted from the journey. Today, I decided to actually record my psychedelic journey, at least the audio portion of it. You can't really record the video because I was seeing everything with my eyes closed. That's not possible. But I did try to describe in the best language available to me what I was going through. And I noticed that part of me was editing what I was saying because I knew I was recording the audio. And this is how I was clued into the fact that there was a hitchhiker along for the ride. I compare this hitchhiker to a program called Grammarly. It's a browser plugin, and it will check your Google Docs for grammatical and spelling errors, or your emails for grammatical and spelling errors before you send them. And I realized I have part of myself, a Jason Grammarly program, that is doing this with everything I say. It sometimes causes me to stutter. It causes me to pause and makes my speech much less fluid because I'm kind of editing myself in real time. And you can't do that. It just breaks up the stream of consciousness. The words don't come out as easily. And I don't want that part of me anymore. But I realized that there's a place for him. Like, I do need self-improvement, Jason. I need someone who will critique me honestly and fairly and tell me when I need to improve something or when something's deficient. I just don't need it happening every second of every hour of every day, or for every word in every sentence I'm going to utter or write. That is a destructive tendency, and I realize that Grammarly Jason needs to go bye-bye, or at least be integrated in a more holistic fashion and maybe turned on less frequently. I don't need real-time edits. I need periodic edits, maybe once a week on Sunday when I'm in sacrament meeting, for instance, would be a really good time to run Jason Grammarly. But Jason Grammarly should be shut off the rest of the time because he just messes everything up. All right. Jason Grammarly is why it's hard for me to make these videos. I feel a pretty high degree of anxiety when I'm making them. And I think the reason is that Jason Grammarly is there all the time, editing what I say, or something like to the effect of, "Hey, poor word choice," or wrong verb tense, or "that didn't come out clearly, reshoot the video." Well, I'm turning Jason Grammarly off to the best of my ability, and from now on, these videos are what they are. If I create a crappy video and publish it, I did. I'm not going to make it deliberately bad, but if something doesn't come out right, or I don't express a concept well, it is what it is. We move on to the next video, and hopefully I get better next time. Something like that. And this is an example of me healing myself. I want to make these videos. I want to be and helping others. I want to heal Jason Grammarly. I want to bring him back into the fold and make him a more, again, a holistic part of myself. I'm kind of screwing up right now anyway, so this is actually a really good chance to screw up on screen. I screwed up. I lost my train of consciousness. I lost my train of thought. Has the world ended? No. We're good. Still going on. So this is an example of me healing myself, but I believe that this sharing this experience of my trip is going to help other people too. Because what comes up for you, what you notice when you're on psychedelics, it tends to concentrate your mind, allows your thoughts to flow more fluidly It can be very relaxing, at which time some of these thoughts will bubble up, and that's when I notice Jason Grammerly. What you notice during your experience will be different, but it could be equally powerful, maybe even more powerful. Whatever it is, I encourage you to listen to it, because I'm going to, again, turn off Jason Grammerly, except on Sundays. Okay, I have the third example I want to share with you. And one of the side effects of this increased dosage was that the emotional effect, for some reason, was delayed. I did not feel intense emotions while I was on Spravado. I had intense emotions after I came down from it. It seemed to open me up so that I could feel more. And I noticed this because I was crying in the pool as I was swimming my laps. And the trigger of my crying, was more like sobbing actually, was an example to me of someone who doesn't hide. And in fact, I think her courage is so high that it's an inspiration to me to be more like her. And so I'm going to give her a shout out. I have a niece who was abused as a child and struggles with self-inflicted harm. And she shared with my wife and I that she struggles going to the gym because she doesn't want to wear a short sleeve shirt because people will be able to see the scars on her arms. And it makes her very self-conscious. And this last week, we ran into her at the gym. It happened to be the first Spravado appointment that I had. We actually drove there together, and she did the ketamine at the same time I did. And anyway, when we were in the gym, she didn't have a long sleeve shirt on. She had a short sleeve shirt on, and I had never seen her arms before. And I was taken aback by the number of scars on her arms. I didn't realize how bad it was. And it didn't hit me until I was in the pool, just how courageous it was of her to not wear the long sleeve shirt. You have to understand, this is an upscale gym. This is not Vasa $25 a month membership, gym. This is the country club gym of Draper. And the people there are fit. They look good in general, better than, the general populace. And so I was wondering about what kind of courage does it take to not wear a long sleeve shirt and show all of your scars in an environment like that. And I came up with a couple of corollary examples that might bring this home for other people, what this would actually be like. If you were male, for instance, and had a micro penis, and you had to walk into a shower with a bunch of men who were very, very fit and didn't, and were potentially well endowed, that might give you a feeling of what she probably felt like in that gym environment. If you were a woman in a swimsuit competition, but your body was just laced with cellulite and you were just overflowing out of your bikini, yet you had to come on stage and be part of a public broadcast, that might give you a sense of the courage required to do what she was doing. And I just felt like it wasn't her showing off her scars. This is what a normal person would do, right? They would put on a short sleeve shirt and go to the gym and just be there. And she did that. And knowing that it was hard for her, again, it didn't really hit home until I was in the pool swimming the laps, until I felt the full emotional impact of what she did. And it was an inspiration to me. And so this is an example of how her not hiding healed me. It actually helped me to heal and be more courageous in my journey. In fact, I'm not even particularly happy with how this video is turning out. I feel like I'm rambling a bit. But I'm going to be okay with that at some point. And at some point, I'll get much better at making the videos, and it won't matter. But anyway, I just want to give a shout out to her for being courageous and for not hiding and for helping me to heal myself. Fighting for your life means finding the courage to come out of hiding. And I'm curious to find out what keeps you in hiding and what might help you show yourself to the world so that you can heal and so that you can help others heal. Please share your thoughts and comments in the comment section, and don't forget to subscribe.